The heroes of the Marvel Universe have become larger than life itself, but will it be enough to overcome the Dark Celestials and save Earth? Well, let's hop into Avengers issue number 6 and find out. Alrighty then, so as we join the comic, we see just what kind of ripple effects the Avengers' battle with the Dark Celestials is having throughout the universe. Word of this apocalyptic fight has reached the ears of the Shi'ar Empire. The depths of Atlantis, even the halls of heaven and hell are all taking notice of this fight. I'm sure there's also a great spaghetti monster and Xeno in there somewhere too. Now, if you'll recall, in the previous issue, Earth's mightiest heroes had managed to call up new levels of power never before seen, whether it be Thor and Hulk managing to grow to massive size, or Iron Man making use of his new Godbuster armor. Even with these new upgrades though, the fight is uphill, especially because all of these horde swarms, the horrible little bug monsters that more or less kicked off these events in the first place, just don't seem to stop. It's Robbie Reyes, the youngest member of this impromptu team, the Ghost Rider, who managed to actually take over the shell of a deceased Dark Celestial, and in doing so it's granted him some interesting insight, even their names. It also messes with his head and gets him to spout all kinds of street preacher craziness about how we are all God's vomit and the Black Blade is bleeding. Eventually, when fighting doesn't work, Robbie's ramblings do indeed get the heroes to start thinking differently. Maybe there's a reason that the Dark Celestials have chosen now to come back. Maybe there's a reason that this team of Avengers is not to win this battle the same way Odin and his Avengers did back during the Stone Age. Perhaps they need to try something new, something different. And then, all at once, like a freight train, it truly hits them. If the Dark Celestials coming to Earth and getting corrupted by the Horde Swarm is due in part why so many superpowered people are born on Earth, maybe it's for all those reasons and more Earth wasn't destroyed by the Celestials. Maybe they needed mankind to survive, get superpowers, so that they could become the cure. Earth isn't just God's vomit, it's a giant petri dish. That's great information, but it still doesn't help them solve the problem of how exactly they're able to take what's inside humanity and make the Celestials not sick anymore. Luckily, Iron Man might just have the solution here. You see, when the leader of the Eternals died, he touched Tony's face, in doing so imparting upon him the Eternals' greatest secret, that what was given to them by the original Celestials, the power of the Unimind. Essentially, it lets everyone on the Avengers pool their consciousness together like this was Captain Planet or something, and they do so all inside Robbie's armor, basically turning into one giant Voltron of power. This is enough to finally defeat the Horde Swarm and cure the Celestials that are already sick, but it doesn't defeat the Dark Celestials. Luckily, with the other Celestials back to normal though, the good ones help the heroes push back the bad ones. Together, they all charge in one giant triumphant moment that is so awe-inspiring, even Loki himself has to admit that this is a pretty damn awesome Avengers moment as the comic ends. So that was Avengers 6, everybody, and overall I thought it was a very fitting conclusion to this first Jason Aaron Avengers arc. It was epic, explosive, well-drawn, but more importantly, I liked that there was a nice little underlying theme in the story of learning from the past and not repeating mistakes. The Avengers ultimately win the battle with the Dark Celestials not because they're stronger than their opponents, heck, not even because they're stronger than their predecessors on the Avengers BC. No, they win because they're smarter and more creative. Jason Aaron also adds a ton of cool stuff to the ever-growing Marvel cosmology and history, while also honoring a lot of stuff that's happening in the other books right now. Overall, I think I'd feel comfortable giving this one an 8 out of 10, and I can't wait to see where this series is going to go from here in the future.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cave Joel, and I want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed what you saw, and if you did, why not take a closer look at some of these other videos I have available from the channel. Then you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Cave Joel, so you're always up to speed on what I'm doing next. And hey, if you're in a supportive mood, why not check out my Patreon page? Patrons get exclusive access to videos and content before anyone else, and you can do so for as little as $1 a month. I would really appreciate it, and with that, I will be sure to